All right, all right. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1, your love music, love live station on a Thursday morning. You know how we love to go back in time. Great music being coming your way all through the morning. There's so much more to actually come, but at this moment, it's all about jumping into the world of entertainment, taking a look at the stories that have been making the rounds. Of course, what your faves have been doing, getting up to, eating, into what clothes have they been wearing and so on and so forth. This is the Grapevine where we talk about all the good stuff where it comes to entertainment. My name is Ayokunmi. Great to have you join us this beautiful morning. Lots to get into, a lot to talk about, and of course, the terrific trio are back on a Thursday morning alongside me. Joining me this morning are, of course, Oris and James Silas.
Yeah, good morning, Lagos. Good morning, everybody, wherever you're listening from. Welcome to the Grapevine, and we're live.
Indeed, we are live. Oris, it's been 84 years, but we have you back on the Grapevine.
Why does that sound like Titanic? Hi,
Exactly. That's where it came from.
that's where I came from, Abi.
Exactly.
I identified the reference. Anyway, yes. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, James Silas, and good morning, Ayo. Yes, I am gloriously back, and let us boogie now that I'm back.
And now that you're back, but I just need to put this out there that you need to sort boys now. I mean, after going and coming, you need to sort
No,
boys.
no,
I
I
no,
don't.
no.
remember very, I remember
Don't
very
bother
clearly
yourself,
that
Ayo.
James Silas had promised us a few things actually just before I left, and he
Ayo,
never paid up. So
Ayo.
who am I
Let
to
me
Yes,
say
tell
now.
you.
when James
I'll tell you for free. This guy came back with a lousy bar of chocolates that he bought from the what's it called, duty free point, and then and one local a wrap of Tum Tum or something of that nature. Just those two things. That's what this guy brought back. I kept thinking I was bringing more things from his bag. No way. Nothing, man. Nothing.
My goodness, Ayo,
Yes,
isn't
sir.
that even better? I believe that if I brought a bar of chocolate for James Silas, that is much better than his promise and fail just before I left. So I have no
Well,
idea what's criticizing me on air.
you know what? I will not get into that one. But if you want to get into the grapevine with us this morning, send your messages to us on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981. Also join us on YouTube. We're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. All right, let's get into the conversation. Let's talk big screen here because this big one that we heard concerning Netflix. Now they've recently decided to stop commissioning new Nigerian originals, which has been a significant blow to the Nollywood industry. Now, renowned filmmaker Kunle Afolayan, known for his acclaimed series Anikulapo, revealed that while his project was fortunate enough to secure a third season, many other Nollywood projects were abruptly cancelled. Now, he expressed his disappointment, noting that this decision could significantly impact the burgeoning Nollywood industry. Oris, first of all, how big is this in terms of the growth of the Nigerian movie industry? Secondly, looking at what Kone Afolayan said, I mean, should this be a big blow to to the growth of Nollywood? I mean, should we be looking at okay, this foreign entity, whether or not they decide to still commission movies, that should not stop us from doing what we need to do to get where we need to get to.
Yeah, of course, it's a big blow. I mean, let's just take that right off the bat. It's a big blow. But I think it's also important to characterize what exactly has happened. Netflix, I
Okay.
mean, I think I saw a lot of news, all of them false, yesterday, about Netflix pulling out of Nigeria. It's not true. Netflix has not left Nigeria, but there are indications that they are scaling back on their investments over here. What that would mean practically is we will probably not get as much originals, as you said, out of Netflix going forward, at least in the short term. Of course, it's a big blow because I think for many of us, we've understood somewhat that if you wanted a certain type of film, a certain type of series, you needed to go to Netflix to get it. A lot
Mm,
of there are only two other. I mean, frankly, in Nollywood right now, there are only two other options: the what you get on YouTube and what you get on the big screen. That's at the cinemas. And frankly, YouTube is really not particularly premium content. If you want premium content, you're either looking at Netflix or looking at the cinemas. So yeah, so what that means is yes, that our premium content might suffer a blow, actually a very significant blow. Unfortunately, we have granted Netflix or foreign entities a lot of control over what we do. Distribution, especially in distribution, actually. I think it's the same thing too in music, by the way, where you have Apple Music, Spotify, the rest of them, anyway, the big streamers as one of the major, what's the word now, forces in the music industry. So the same thing is happening in Nollywood, that Netflix is almost indispensable. In fact, it is indispensable. For many producers that I know personally, their entire business plan is, hey, make a film, take it to Netflix. That's the summary of what they are trying to do. So what this means is that people like that will struggle to find homes for their content moving forward. It's unfortunate, but that's just how the game goes. But yeah, people like Kunle, of course, are super lucky that they managed to cross the line just before the dam was closed. So I mean, good luck to him on that one. So yeah, of course, if you're a young filmmaker now, I think maybe what you probably should be thinking of doing is building your own audience. And if you can, one of the reasons why Netflix was important is because, as you can probably tell, they brought in a certain level of finances that nobody else here was offering. I don't think the business model for cinemas is particularly strong. Apparently, if you make 100 million naira from the cinemas, you probably will go home with 1/3 of that figure. So if your budget was 50 million, you kind of need at least 160 million to be able to break even. You know what that means, right? So it's not a great,
right.
It's not a great model. So Netflix came in and, hey, this is something you could do. You could do a movie for 100 million and maybe they will pay you 200 or 250 if you do the conversion rates. And of course, that made sense. Unfortunately, that will not hold for much longer. Yeah, so they have my sympathies, but I also believe there's a way Nigeria works. One door closes, another opens. So let's see what happens over the next maybe 6 months or 12 months.
Let's see what actually happens. Although I'm taking a look at a link to a story here. I mean, it was sent in by one of our listeners where Netflix. Well, it's been said that Netflix is debunking that story about its exit from
Nigeria. That's what I said. Yes, they said yesterday that they are not leaving. Actually, yeah.
So
ready.
It is, yeah. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, what is really important is that we need to focus on our own, should I say, writing our own stories, literally and figuratively, and should I say, owning our destinies, as it were. Because, like you said, when it comes to the movies, there's so much stock being paid to what Netflix does or what the music streaming platforms do as well. So it's kind of like, oh, we are quote unquote at the mercy of these other bodies and these entities as well. So we need to look out for ourselves. We need to look at our own and all that. James, I know that in the last couple of years or thereabouts, at different times, we've had our own indigenous, should I say, streaming platforms. Just I don't want to mention too many names, but Iroko and so on and so forth. Now, what could be the main reason some of these entities didn't work? Is it because they were not affordable? I want to believe they were affordable. Or is it because the content wasn't premium enough for Nigerians? Or is it just because it's a Nigerian thing? So,
I think when it comes to this whole Netflix, the whole, should I call it the propaganda or the rumor of them leaving? Like Oris has said, it's not necessarily about them leaving, but more about them cutting down or maybe even withdrawing or stop the investments, whatever, or funding of the movies,
mm,
And I'm sure even when we talk about funding, I don't think it was just them giving producers money or whatever to go and shoot movies and come and put on their platform. And then I mean it was also about them recouping, right? Um, I don't have the data or the facts right now, but I know that what I've read in the past was that their subscriber base in Nigeria here was about 100 and something, maybe 150 or 160 something thousand, right? Um, and that number has been even on a decline. So talking about why, I know, yes, you just mentioned some other platforms that we had, local platforms. Not like we didn't really have a lot of local platforms. I mean, you mentioned one of them. We can actually put Mnet or more DSTV as another one. But that one you had to watch based on your subscription on for TV. But for streaming proper, yes, you called Aroko or Iroko, and we probably had a few other ones that were here and there, but But Netflix sort of changed the game at that point in time, when they had that their whole thing with Genevieve Nnaji's Lion, what was the title? Lionheart. And that sort of opened a new chapter. But I think one of the reasons why this whole thing is always mentioned premium movies, my brother, these days, I don't think these people care about whether a movie is premium. Like it now begs the definition, what's a premium movie? Do you understand? What's the story?
Right.
I mean, these days about what's the story, about premium in the sense of quality of the film, the presentation, the story, maybe the storyline, the quality of actors, but all of those things are beginning to change. These days, people, the average people that actually have time to stream these things. Before it used to be like, let me use air quotes, middle class. Middle class people, it felt cool to just subscribe and just it doesn't matter how many times you watch it. Me, I know that I used to do the premium service, you understand? And everybody in the house, everybody
Mm,
who wants one, one time they tried to control that when they made you subscribe, but put your whatever within the particular IP. But all of that still,
right.
I don't think it helped. But then today's economy, so to speak, might just be another factor. And guess what? Some of those your favorite actors are now even acting. Before it seemed like, oh, if you're acting or if your movie is on YouTube, it looked like, oh, what was that? But today, go there, you see the millions or several, thousands of movies, Nollywood movies down on YouTube. Now, YouTube is, if you have data, every day they are on your face telling you to subscribe for 1 month or blah blah for free or blah, blah. People are not even asking those things. They just skip that thing and they're able to watch whatever they want to watch. But we don't have that luxury of of space on or luxury of activity on Netflix. That is,
Right.
but then again, we still have a platform like Prime, what's this Amazon Prime, right? Who's
Mm,
also trying to pose a level of competition, which I don't even know if it's working. I mean, I don't know if it can be compared. No, I don't think so. But all of this still boils down to our government. The government is not helping matters. Truthfully, if we had an open field where the government is really supporting, even with the tech, even the platforms that were existing before, you see that we may not even need the international platform to come and be investing in the things that we're doing, because these are stories that we're telling. These are things that are happening every other day. If you watch any Nollywood flick, there's nothing different that you are watching there that's not happening in our society. Do you understand? Of course, people take it
right.
deeper to want to create bigger stories or stories that have never been told and stuff. But even at that, there are still things within our circle. I mean, I'm sure you get what I'm saying.
Indeed, I hear you loud and clear, James. Let's take a break on that. When we come back in on the grapevine, I'm going to talk about Forbes. This one was very interesting because I know that James is a music head, and of course, Oris is on this one as well. We'll get different perspectives on the greatest rappers of all time. Some very interesting names making the top 10 there. Keep it tuned to the grapevine on Smooth 98.1.
James,
That's
Yeah.
what is this thing you were saying about was this last thing you just said just now about no difference between what you watch on YouTube or whatever on Netflix and what's happening in society? What does that have to do with anything?
No, I'm just saying that talk about stories. They say telling our stories and stuff. Do you understand? A lot of the stories that or the movies that we watch are still things that happen within our society or stories that are told within our society. Do you understand? Within our country or our culture and everything. Is it relationship? Is it maybe what happened? Shango's story? Is it Fela Anikulapo's Kuti
Yeah,
story? Do you understand? A lot of these
yeah,
things. So,
but
but what? Yeah,
okay, continue.
yeah. What makes it different is the quality of production. The
Exactly.
the
So it's always going
directing, the
to
people,
be valuable that people, yeah,
equipment.
people are always going to always want some kind of premium thing out of it. But it
No,
sounded like you were saying that the people don't need premium.
no. I'm not saying they don't need. I'm saying that if you look at the economy today, people don't even care anymore. The average people or people that even have, no matter how little that, let's use MTN for
we're
instance,
going back in. We're going back
has,
in, guys.
okay, we'll come back to it.
This is Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life on a Thursday morning, 34 minutes past 8 a.m. Ayokunmi here. Alongside me are Oris and, of course, James Silas in the Grapevine.
Yeah, let's go.
Right, let's go. You can join us on the conversation this morning. Get your thoughts into us and send your messages on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 0981. You can also join us on YouTube. We're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Let me take a message. St. Fadjo says, James, your year came in too late. St. Fadjo, come on.
You
The
guys
timing was
timing
right.
it.
The timing
All
was right
right.
as far as I'm concerned. But your thoughts are very, very, very well taken.
Fadjo.
Anthony says, I'm not surprised at what Netflix did this year. I know I did not watch up to 5 Nollywood movies due to poor storytelling. Until they pay our script writers well, our quality of storylines will still be poor. All right, duly noted there.
Unfortunately, it had nothing to do with quality of this. Anyway, continue. That's just a misguided comment. Nothing to do with paying our screenwriter as well. If you are a good screenwriter, a good screenwriter, or if not, even if you are giving you 5.5 naira. But that's not the point. Anyway, you were saying, let's continue. Let's move on.
Yes, let's continue the conversation and talk about some music. Now, Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z, has been named the greatest rapper of all time by Forbes. Now, this list celebrates the best in the hip-hop world, with Jay-Z topping the list, followed by, I can't believe I'm saying this, Kendrick Lamar, Lil Wayne, J. Cole, and Tupac at numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5, respectively. Now, the top 10 also includes Drake, Kanye West, Nicki Minaj, Nas, and Eminem as well. Of course, we know Jay-Z's legacy in music industry is undeniable. Hit songs, and of course, successful business ventures as well. Now, I don't know if this list was made with his business ventures in mind. I don't know if that counts as well, but I don't know. What do you guys think about the entirety of the list? Does it make sense to you? I, on a personal level, I don't know. I'm a bit about it because I remember there's a list that Rolling Stones did sometime last year, and they ranked their top 100 artists of all time or something. And I'm still beefing them up until today because Michael Jackson was put at number 86 on that list. So I'm beefing Rolling Stones on that one. Forbes, they might enter that list as well. But anyways, Oris, let me start with you on this one.
No, I would rather James goes first.
All right. Okay. Let me go first. So you just mentioned something very important in that we when it comes to Forbes, we need to be sure of what exactly is the criteria for this list. But it will never go far from even their achievements. Do you understand? Success in business and everything. And personally, I will agree, I accept that Jay-Z can actually pass for one of the greatest rappers of all time. If I put together both his body of work, his catalog, the value or quality, or more of the value of his catalog,
Okay.
his person, the business, his influence, I mean, why not Jay-Z? I mean, why would I want to argue about Jay-Z being the greatest rapper of all time? But I also have to, like you mentioned, what is actually the criteria for this whole for this accolade? And then it also begs the question, because when you now say, okay, if you look at it from that perspective, then you know what to question. But Kendrick Lamar, though, do you understand? If I'm hearing Kanye West, if I'm hearing Diddy, all due respect, if I'm hearing all the rappers, all the greatest of, I was this other guy's name, what's his name? Okay, I can't remember that right now, but let me come back to, and then of course Tupac, even in his death, if they had mentioned, I probably would have thought that maybe Biggie, but I don't know about how his estate is being managed in terms of returns and money back to his estate. But for Tupac, on several occasions, his name has actually been mentioned, has been brought back to back when it comes to these kind of mentions. But when it comes to skill as well, now Jay-Z might not be your number one when it comes to even the skill in terms of rap, but I don't know how you want to come up with that list. If you don't, I mean, if it's not in any order, how Jay-Z is not going to be on that list? Do you understand? Eminem is also another person who, of course, had to be on that list. But it's very important that we also have clarity on the criteria for what, how or why they picked these people. But Jay-Z, greatest rapper of all time, anytime in day, I could have easily picked Jay-Z for myself, because even where it looked like some other rapper is supposed to be better, or you think that for me, I would have picked, if it comes to skill, just bare skill, every other time I would have picked Nas over Jay-Z. But the truth is that for a lot of times, even on one record, even on one verse, sometimes Jay-Z comes in so hard that when you listen, you start like, wow, you know. So I don't have a problem with this list. Sometimes I think that the listing is not necessarily about even positioning people how they should position them. It's also about hype for the platforms that I just want to, you know, call up a list and do. I mean, no disrespect. One time we used to have one of those online platforms, entertainment platforms, who will give us a list of some artists in Nigeria and this and that, and that to spark conversation. But that's not really the Bible of any ranking. So, but hey, it's always good for the conversation, regardless.
Indeed, it is. Or I'm pretty sure there's a reason you wanted James to go first. So the floor is yours.
In fact, I didn't even get the reason. I didn't actually get the reason because James was just James. This is not a good day. This is not a good day for James. For James Silas. Now that I'm back,
Let's hear you.
James is shaking in his boots. Now that I'm back. Anyway, is Jay-Z the greatest? What's it called now? Rapper of all time. I mean, the man has a very, very strong claim to actually being. Not necessarily because of his music over the past few years, but just because of who he is as a person. I think he has a massive personality. And is there anybody of his generation who still is relevant musically? I really, really would struggle to find such a person. And to be fair, even Jay-Z is not particularly relevant in terms of music, is he? He's more relevant because he's a billionaire now and because of his wife. Still, my choice would have been Kanye West, actually. Although I'm biased because I'm a very big Kanye West fan. I just think that Kanye has more value musically, broadly speaking, than Jay-Z does. And Kanye, of course, is a lot more in the news, even if it's not particularly for great reasons over the past maybe 2-3 years. But I think Kanye is, in my own view, maybe the greatest rapper of all time. In terms of skill, it would have been Eminem. But you cannot argue with Jay-Z's longevity. After Biggie and Pac died, the next generation of artists had Jay right there. It was Jay and Nas, actually. Nas has pretty much entered this sort of semi-retirement mode, frankly. Jay, it seems like he's still involved somewhat, even if, like I said, he's not like he's making groundbreaking music anymore. But if you remember, I think was it last year or 2 years ago, he had that verse, that almost 8-minute verse or something in the song by DJ Khaled. So it means that he still shows up in a way that, hey, people are like, okay, that's an interesting rapper, in a way that nobody else of his generation does. So which is why I think, you know what, let it go, give it to him. I'm more surprised that the list is coming out now because I was looking for it I wanted to go to the primary source to go and find on Forbes.com, look for the particular article addressing this. And then it turns out that actually it's not a recent list. It's been updated since July and it was first published in March. I have no idea why it's just becoming viral at this particular moment. So yes, to come back to what I was saying, I do not, in terms of longevity, I think Jay is actually, yes, the greatest. In terms of skill, I would think Eminem, but personally, my number one is Kanye West.
I mean, we're all allowed to have our own personal number ones because any way you want to look at it, there'll be no wrong answers. Really, I mean, like you said, in terms of skill,
no, there'll be wrong answers. Please, there'll be wrong answers. It's like talking about greatest Nigerian artist, then you say Davido. It probably is not. That's probably not right. Not in a time where there's Burna Boy. So yes, they are wrong answers. Actually, they are wrong answers. Kendrick, you cannot say Kendrick, for instance. Kendrick is a little bit too young. He hasn't done up to how many 20 years to claim all time. So you need somebody who has put in the years. So they are wrong answers.
Oris, you should go nowhere in China shop because you're going to break everything inside. That is just what you're going to do. But anyways, really quickly, because time has absolutely flown by this morning. Talking about Eminem, his mother, Debbie Nelson, passed away at the age of 69. Of course, it's been well documented, the difficult relationship that she had with Eminem. And of course, the cause of death has yet to be confirmed, but she was known to have suffered from lung cancer. M hasn't commented publicly on this. From where from where I'm sitting, I haven't seen any comment made by him yet. I could be wrong. And of course, that relationship that he had with her was laid bare in one of his biggest hits, Till Dates, Cleaning Out My Closet, and all that. I know along the lines they sort of made up. He did the song that had Nate Royce on. I can't remember the name of the track. I think headlights. Yeah, headlights where he was trying to,
Yeah, we have
kind of.
apologized. Yes, it's true.
Yeah. So
Yes, you're right. That's the song actually where he sort of apologized in a way for
yeah, in a
his
way.
serial attacks on her over decades actually.
Yeah,
Um,
but man, that relationship was brutal, as it were. And I really hope that they were able to sort of make up to a degree, at least before her passing here.
yeah. I mean, may she rest in peace. Huh? He did give her, I mean, sad to say, but he did give her a couple of big hit records. I mean, as the case, it's America, right? It's all about the Benjamins eventually. And yes, he really took an advantage of the terrible relationship with his mother to launch, quite a lot of records that became really, really huge. I remember in 2002 when the Eminem Show album came out. And I remember listening to Cleaning Up My Clothes. Wait, what is this guy saying exactly? He had attacked her before, though, in the Marshall Matters LP, the one before that. But that Cleaning Up My Clothes was like, I first thought it was an apology. To find out that actually he was still attacking her. So yeah, of course she's late now. I hope she rests in peace, and I hope that somehow, somewhere, that song "Headlights" wasn't the only reconciliation. I hope there was something more personal in her life and in his life.
Definitely. James, final thoughts on the
Yeah,
matter?
I mean, like you said, we hope that apart from the music, that they also had a way to come to, because Eminem was very, very, very raw and very, you know, crazy about the things he said in his music, even about his own family, his ex-wife, his people, his ex-girlfriends, his relationship. He was just that artist who just said it as he felt in his head. At that point, I thought he was a very, very troubled, rapper or rap or person, and might not be wrong, but you see that a lot of things has even changed about Eminem. His personality is talking about the media. I don't think you might never hear Eminem talk about it. I don't think how will he set the camera and talk about it on social media or answer or talk to a reporter or the media about it. He's not going to do it. He might not even see anything, but it's what it is. May her soul rest in peace, and I hope that they sort of found peace eventually. But it's what it is. They had a very troubled relationship, and Eminem just sort of poured it out in the record.
All right, thank you for that, James. Let's take some messages. Oluwaseyi says, "Great to have you back, Mr. Oris. Was wondering where you were. I was going to ask. I didn't know you jackpot and decided to come and join us again. I want my chocolate as well. You see?
I don't know. Jackpot is not jackpot if you come back. I did not jackpot.
Reverse
I just traveled for a bit.
reverse jackpot." He further says, "I believe the reason Netflix is scaling back their operations could be connected to our low subscription rate as a country. I'm sure if our subscription is higher, they wouldn't be scaling back." Okay, there's a question he asked here. I will answer that question privately. Oluwaseyi, thank you for sending your message here. Boundless Love says, "These are the same folks that ranked Hush Puppy." Scattering tables. Brim, all the way from Italy, says, "Oh, Brian, I'm not sure which, but forgive me." Says Amazon Prime is doing well with African movies. And Tyre says, "Oris, welcome back from fighting Denzel." Were you fighting Denzel before, Oris?
I have no idea what it means, but thank you, that's Tayo Abi. Thank you,
That's
Tayo.
Tyre. He further says, "On behalf of Drake's ghostwriters, I'd like to congratulate him on the achievement. Shout out to others who were mentioned in the list." And on Netflix, "Scale down and chill before piracy takes over their business. Fix your local business environment and grow the Naira." RIP to Eminem's mom, who passed away at the age of 69. God grant you rest. She gave us the greatest white rapper to bless the mic. Nobody above dissing. True story. True story. All right, we need to call it a morning. Thank you so much, so much for joining me, Oris, and of course, James. Always a pleasure having you guys on the show. Where can Tayo, Oluwaseyi, and every other person connect with you guys on social media for more banter
Yes,
and table
James
breaking?
Silas, James Silas on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm everywhere. Just if you search James Silas, you find me. If you even say James Silas or Smith FM, you find me. And if you see me, just holler at me. Tell me you're from the Grapevine. I'll holler back. Peace.
Yeah, and it's Kachoris on X/Twitter, CATCHORIS, and it's Kachorisgram on Instagram. I also have gone back very, very heavily to the love of my life, otherwise known as Facebook. So you can also say hi to me on Facebook. It's once again, it's also Kachoris over on Facebook.
All right, thank you for for telling us that, Oris. I'm pretty sure all the listeners would want to find out what you do on your Facebook page. So interesting time there. Thank you for
It's like
keeping
making it
it
sound like
tuned.
something bad. I'm innocent, please. Oh.
Thanks for keeping it tuned to Smooth 98.1. More great music coming your way on a Thursday morning. Don't go anywhere.
So yeah.